Hey, hello, I am Olivia and this is the channel Profits and Wealth. Thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed and everyone who has watched the videos. Even though I have not been here for a while, it's good to be back. It's amazing to sit here again and talk to you about what I love and what I do. And to the people who commented, thank you. Positive and negative feedback, it helps a lot because it keeps me on my toes and it also shows me what it is that you want me to talk about. So thank you very much and a great welcome. Like I've said when I started out just a few minutes ago, I do accounting and bookkeeping. That's what I do for a living. That is what makes me wake up every morning. But it's also my great source of enjoyment, but it's also my great source of frustration because I see so many business owners who are making buckets full of money, but they have no idea how to manage the money, how to keep it growing, how to keep it, how to use it, and how to grow it. And that is my frustration. So today, I want to ask you the question, why do you think you need a bookkeeper or an accountant? Why? I know why, but you need to understand why. So I'm going to just mention a few pointers of from the moment that you start a business, where I fit in when I do accounting and when I do bookkeeping, where I fit in so that you can understand the role of a bookkeeper, the role of an accountant, and not just think that we are pushing numbers and loading receipts and invoices, but why it's important. So let's start from the beginning. For you, first of all, you need to register a company. And when you register a company in South Africa, this is the path that you follow. You register with the PIC. Then you register with the South African Revenue Services. And then if you have one or more employees, then you must register with the Department of Labor for the Unemployment Insurance Fund that we know as the UIF. So these are the three things. Number one, you register with CIPC. Then you become on the database of companies in South Africa. Then automatically, the moment your company gets registered, you get a tax number from the South African Revenue Services. Then with that tax number, you go to your e-filing profile if you have one. You go to your personal e-filing profile and you register your business on your personal e-filing profile. Because now SARS has a new system. When you register a business, before it was two separate entities, but now when you register a business, instead of registering it separate under a separate e-filing profile, you must now register it under your personal e-filing profile. So then with SARS, they know then me, I, Olivia Sambo, this is my personal profile, and under my profile is the business or other profiles that I manage. Then the third thing you need to do is you have to register with the Department of Labor. You have to register your workers with the Unemployment Insurance Fund, the UIF. This is so that should anything happen and you have to close your doors, or your employees, maybe they have to go on maternity leave or they get sick, or even when there's a death in the family, they can claim from the uninsurance fund. So these are the three places, just as a recap. CIPC, SARS for tax purposes, and then the Department of Labor for UIF, and then also for the compensation fund. So when you look at these, where do you think a bookkeeper fits into the whole picture of what I've mentioned now? And by the way, if you are struggling to register your company or register with SARS or the UIF, these are services that we offer. So if you need help, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. And please bear in mind, these services are for free, but you will pay me for my time and knowing how to do it. That is why a fee will be charged. Then let's see, now your business is registered, you are with the UIF, you are with SARS, you are sorted in that respect. Why then do you need a bookkeeper? Let me give you a rundown of why you need a bookkeeper. Number one, keeping your records. And don't worry, I will go into detail with all of these 8, but for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to focus on the first 4 points. So, number one, this is why you need a bookkeeper or an accountant, to keep records. For tax purposes, payroll, budgeting, risk management, cost management, if you want to register for VAT, and then also money management. If you look at these 8 points and you ask yourself, why do I need risk management? Why do I need to budget? Why is payroll important? Then this is exactly why I made this video, so that you can understand all of these services are provided by an accountant or a bookkeeper. And if you think, and this is what gets to me every single time, before I'm going to touch on these pointers, I just want to mention a few things of what frustrates me and what also what inspires me. You own a business. You are a business owner. You make money. And I'm not talking to people who are just starting out. I am talking to you darkies who have established businesses. I am talking to the tenderpreneurs, the businesses who have turnovers of 2 million rand and more per month or per year. I'm talking to the businesses who have the business owners who have been running their businesses for many, many years, and you don't see a profit. You are still struggling to make ends meet, even though you make millions per month. And this is for you clever blacks who are making loads of money. You buy expensive cars, you buy expensive wines, you go on expensive holidays, but your bookkeeping is not in order. Your tax affairs are not in order. You don't pay your employees on time. You know, it breaks my heart. You get employees who are loyal, who come to work, who do the job. And when it comes to you, Daki, when you have to pay your employees, then suddenly there's a problem. For them, not for you. Because you can still pay your stuff. You can still go on holidays. You can still buy your expensive wines and buy your expensive cars. But your employee who's making it possible for you to have the lifestyle that you are having, you shortchange them. You rob them. Because that is what you do. Do you think that your employee, your staff member, your worker, do you think that they don't have dreams? Do you think they don't have desires, aspirations for their families? As much as you are building a business, they come to work so that they can put food on their table, so that they can provide for their families, work and build on the dreams for their families. So you clever darkies, you blacks, I need to speak to you. Because you think running a business is about posting on Instagram with your flashy car. Posting, oh, look at God. God gave me a car. Hey, remember that? Oh, standing in front of my fancy home. Look at my expensive wine that I'm drinking. Before you even think of posting pictures, pay your employees. Get your affairs in order. And I'm talking to you, if the shoe doesn't fit, fine enough. But if you are offended and if you are angry when you listen to this message, then this message is exactly for you. And I'm talking to you, darkies. And if you are South African, you will understand who you are. If you are not, maybe you won't understand. But this, I'm speaking to my fellow Black South African business people, to the entrepreneurs, to the tenderpreneurs who have millions flowing through their accounts, but they've got nothing to show for it. So let me start off with number one. Why you need a bookkeeper. Keeping your records. Right? You've heard this all before. You've heard it. Nothing about this is new. So let me explain to you when I talk about keeping your records. What are those records? Because we need to break down and we need to break words down into simple language and get away from industry jargon. Records, receipts, invoices, credit slips, credit notes, every single thing that is a proof, that is proof of a transaction that you've made. Those are your records. Keep it. It's a schlep. It's not easy. It's not a habit. But you can make it a habit. Whenever you have a transaction, whenever you buy or sell something, then just take a picture of the slip. That's your records. Take a picture, create a file on Google Drive and save it on there. That is one of the first things. That's why I say you need a bookkeeper or an accountant. Let's look at the second one. South Africans, you darkies, I'm speaking to you. Company taxes in South Africa. Let that sink in. You darkies, ne? You darkies, you clever blacks, you educated darkies. I'm speaking to you. Because the problem with you educated darkies, you think because you have a degree, a diploma, or whatever qualifications, you might have 50 degrees. It doesn't mean that you know anything about bookkeeping. Company taxes, let me put it back on the screen. Company taxes in South Africa. That is what is going to be your headache, your problem, and what is going to chow your money. Let's take a few steps back. A few years ago, you could register a company in South Africa and forget about it. You never filed taxes or anything, you didn't do your tax returns for that company because the company wasn't making money, it was dormant. You could forget that SARS exists. But now, there's a person called Edward Kieswetter who became the commissioner of the South African Revenue Services. And since he came, SARS has woken up to the fact that me and you and every other single South African is a source of income to them. As a side note, with the 2022-23 financial year, which is last year, SARS, the South African Revenue Services, made more than 2 trillion rand they collected from you and me and everyone else who has a company or who is a taxpayer who has an income. Let's see what is an income. Now, when you rent out your place, SARS wants a piece of that pie. When you are selling something, SARS wants their piece. And now let's look at companies. The company tax at the moment, your turnover tax in South Africa, which is the tax on your turnover, your profits, it's 27%, which means 27% of what you make in your business, SARS wants a part of that, 27%. So when you've made your profits and you calculate 27% of that, SARS still has their own formula that they use to determine how much taxes you must pay them. So you educated darkies. For years, we didn't pay tax to SARS You were just running your business, but now SARS is coming after you. Ask the celebrities. Ask people with dormant companies. Ask anyone who is in business now. You can no longer hide from SARS. You need to get your tax affairs in order. Because right now, as you are watching this video, there might be a penalty against you and you might not even know it. The two things where SARS hits you the hardest, it's your company taxes and it is VAT. So if you have registered for VAT and you never submitted, or you claimed, or someone was doing it by the way, expect SARS to come knocking on your door. And I'm not joking when I say this. And if you think that you can steal from SARS through VAT, think again. People are going to jail now because they've underreported their VAT income. But that's a story for another day. So how do you know how much you owe to SARS? You speak to me. I, as a bookkeeper / accountant, prepare your books. Remember those records that I was speaking before, just earlier on? I prepare from those records. I prepare your profit and loss and your balance sheet statement. That gets from there, that calculations where you see net profit, that is what SARS wants. Do you think you can thumb suck that? It needs to be calculated and it needs to be done the whole year. Don't come to me 2 days before your tax is due and then you tell me, hey, I'm only making 10,000 and SARS wants money. Take your 10,000 that you make and go and find another bookkeeper to do your books. Because you've been sleeping the whole year and now you are in a mess and you want something to fix your books within 5 minutes. But if you have the money to pay me, I will gladly prepare your books for you. That's number one. So record keeping and company taxes, that's why you need a bookkeeper. Let's see what else, because remember there were 8 points I touched upon. The other important point, and this is the one that gets to me every time, payroll. Let's stop with payroll. What is payroll? In South Africa, payroll is what you use, or the calculations that you use to pay a salary or a wages to your employees. But if you are a cheapskate who poses in front of your expensive car, who poses in front of your expensive house, who poses in the expensive restaurants with your expensive whiskeys, because it seems whiskey, it is the drink of choice when it comes to you clever darkies who do not pay your people. So, payroll is where you get your calculations on how much your employee must pay to SARS, how much UIF must go to the Department of Labor, the deductions and the contributions. And if you look at this right now, if you see the word pay as you earn and UIF, by now you must know what it means. But if you don't and you own a business, if you don't know what deductions are, if you don't know what contributions are, then you don't deserve to be in business. Then it means you as a business owner, you are not paying your employees the right way. So why do you need payroll? With payroll, you calculate the gross, the deductions, the deductions that include UIF and pay as you earn. Those two come standard. And then other deductions, medical aid, pension funds, whatever gets deducted, even your garnishing orders, all of those things, it falls under deductions. Contributions is what you as a business contribute, what you pay towards your employee in the case of medical aid, pension funds, and provident funds. So what I offer, it's payroll services. That is another thing of why you need a competent bookkeeper. Because remember, even though the pay as you earn, the tax, the income tax that your employee pays and the UIF, even though it's a deduction from their salary, you, business owner, are the one who must make provision for that money, which means if the gross of your employee, if your gross of your worker it's 9,000, right? Then you must make sure, and the net, if the gross is 9,000 and the net salary is maybe 7,000, you must make sure that you have 9,000 rand in your bank account, because that taxes and the UIF and all the other deductions and contributions, you as the employer must make provision for that, right? If this sounds confusing to you, then you need my services. Then you need a bookkeeper. You need the bookkeeper, and you need an accountant. I'm not sure if you can see me, but on this side I'm freezing. So let's look at budgeting. Why do you need a budget, and why do you need a bookkeeper to use to do your budget? You need a budget to help you plan for expenses, income, payroll, and taxes. Let me repeat that again. I don't know if you can see me, but let me repeat that again. Let me press pause. Okay. I'm sorry, this is always what happened with technical stuff. I am not sure what is happening here, but I will just continue of why you need a bookkeeper. Can you hear me?
I think it's the internet. Just continue with the slides, leave this.
Okay. So, to continue, why do you need a budget and why do you need a bookkeeper to do that? I just apologize. I just had a bit of a technical glitch, but let's continue because information doesn't need a camera. So, why do you need a bookkeeper to prepare your budget? You can then, with a bookkeeper, remember it goes back to your records. With the records, as the bookkeeper or the accountant, I can see what are your expenses, what's your income, how much is your payroll, how much you're going to need for taxes. So then, to plan ahead, you can then plan, say maybe, how much are you going to need for salaries for the whole month? How much is your rent or your lease payments going to be, for the whole month? You can budget for that ahead for the entire year. What are your projections for your income? You can budget for that for the entire year. That is all the roles that an accountant or a bookkeeper can do and perform, so that when the new financial year starts, then already you know, right? This is how much I must have for payroll. It doesn't mean that you must actually have a whole year of salaries in your bank account. But then you can at least know, look, if my salary bill for the month is 39 or 45,000 rand, then you know for the next 2 months, maybe it's possible for me to have 90,000 rand available. Then I know my salaries are sorted for the next month. Let me just explain one more thing about a budget. With a budget, it doesn't mean that you must have that money there by you. It's just to give you an idea of how much you are going to need in future. And who can help you with your budgeting? Me, the bookkeeper, the accountant. Then there is another thing as well. Remember, it was budgeting, and that's the wrap actually. It's record keeping, taxes, payroll, and budgeting. Those are the things that you need an accountant for. And I just want to end off again. I want to speak to you clever darkies, you clever blacks. You know, this is what gets to me. You do not prioritize the things that are important. Your business is your vehicle to the dream life that you want. Your business is the vehicle to pay for your child's education, to pay your house off completely, to buy your car cash, to buy clothes without even owing a cent, to go on a holiday that you dream of. Your business is the vehicle to all of these things. But the problem with you is you think it's a by the way thing. Why do you think people get rich by running and owning a business? It's because pay they pay the right person to provide these services to them. You want to come to me, you make 5 million a month. You make 6 million a month. And you want to pay me 2,500 to put your things in order. Stop being cheap, man. To asseblief. Stop being cheap. In my hands, I hold the key to turn your business around. In my hands, I hold the key to guide you to at the end of the month that you can have a profit in your business, that you can have a good cash flow, that you can be able to put down a down payment or a deposit for your dream house, your dream car. Those are the keys I have in my hand. But you need to pay me for those services. Don't come with money and don't come with excuses. And don't come to be apologetic. I excuse, I don't make any money. I don't want to hear it. You the moment, and listen, let me just reiterate again. I am not talking to the people who are just starting out their businesses. I am talking to the ones who have been running businesses for a while, whose business now it's growing. You cannot do payroll on your own. You cannot do budgeting. You cannot do your bookkeeping. You can't do your VAT submissions on your own. You can't do your tax preparation on your own. If you want to make money, if you want to hold on to your money, you need to find the right bookkeeper, the right accountant. And you must be willing to pay for those services. Because what I can say with confidence, I provide you with premium services. I provide you with services that you will have to look very hard and very far to get the same quality. But for that, I demand a premium price. If you are looking for a bookkeeper or an accountant right now, and you are still of the thinking and of the mind that I don't have much money, then don't come to me. If you are looking, if your turnover is 300,000 per month or 100,000 per month, and you still want to pay me 2,000 rand or 500 or even 4,000 rand, take your business elsewhere and find someone who will do it for that and see how far you get. I needed to make this video because I see you darkies, you clever blacks, you educated darkies. I see you making so much money and wasting it on the wrong priorities. You do not have to struggle to pay your employees. You do not have to struggle to pay your car installment, to pay your house, to provide for your family if you are making more than R1,000,000 per month, but you don't know how to manage it. You need to be focused, you need to be committed, and you need to be determined to make a success of your business. If not, if you think that you can come to me and you want to waste my time, you want to waste your money, and at the end of the month when it's time to pay me, you have stories, you've got something coming. I take my job very serious. My job is to get your books in order. My job is to make sure that you can see your company growing, to make sure that when you go to a tax advisor, that your books are correct for the tax advisor to look at. I must make sure that your VAT submissions, your calculations are correct. Your pay as you earn, your UIF, so that your employee doesn't have to pay extra tax or owe money to SARS because you didn't do your work properly or you didn't get the right person to do it. I'm not trying to be harsh and I'm not trying to scare you, but you need to understand what it takes to run a business in South Africa. If you need help with your books, I am more than ready and available to help you. But just know this, that help will come at a cost because I will provide you with premium service. I will give you the best possible service. That is what I'm here for. This is the end of my first live in many, many months. I don't know what happened. And you had to look at a screen for a long, long time. But I'm going to say goodbye now with this beautiful screen. And I want you to think about your business. I want you to think of what it means to you, how much you can grow it, how it can change your life. And you, but only when you get the right person on your side. That the bookkeeper or an accountant, it doesn't even have to be me. But just get someone to get your affairs in order. Because if they are not, I can guarantee you now, SARS is coming for you. I don't like SARS, but it's okay. They also don't like me. So, but they are coming whether you like it or not. And what you need to do is to get your affairs in order. If you need help, reach out to me. I will be waiting for your call. I am Olivia and this is the channel Profits and Wealth. Thank you so, so much for watching and keep those questions and comments coming.